Awesome. Great. That was lovely then, Josh. No, seriously. Like as far as like just giving yourself permission to like see and notice, right? Let's do it again. You may not do that anymore. Yes. Malia, what we talked about, it wasn't something different happened. And way to go with this.
No, I think I canceled this.
Oh, lovely. It's mine. Okay, great. Let's start again. Who wants time for me? Cindy, can you actually give like every time a minute passes? So I just want to make sure it's real. Mm-hmm. Josh, what I really love about what you just did is that like whatever you were looking at, right? Like it felt like it was something that actually a sound that was in the space. Yeah, please keep that. No pretend, friends, right? And that was really good. Okay, keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Repeat.
What are you doing here? I probably supposed to. Not the. It's supposed to be alone.
Well, yeah, I also thought that I was going to be eliminated.
Yeah, so you should have I need to go to bed right now. What you're doing is really distracting, honestly, and I
You
can't.
just appeared out of fucking thin air. I don't shit myself.
Well, I was like, I'm hearing that, and I think it's, this is like someone breaking into my house or something, and that's scary. And
Let you out.
let me out.
Girl, you're worse than I am. I can't believe that.
What do you want? What do you need, Maria?
I would really like for you to go. I don't, I,
Ooh, good. Talk. What is your need of your sentence?
like me,
Mm-hmm.
I have to accept and understand.
Okay. So, like now you say you really want to, but you really want him to go.
Yeah.
But your B says you want him to accept and understand. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's why also there was very little room for the improv after like what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Because you leaned into the idea of leaving when that's not true to your essential or right?
Yeah.
To your other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to put something in your A
Okay.
that puts you in that he is the potential for that, but you don't know that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So your potential mirror is also going to be right. Also, as we play around with this time window, we're at 15 minutes, right? So I want to give some natural urgency, some honest urgency to that. What is like you know like when you're in those situations where like I have to know every Monday and Wednesday morning where like I can't sleep, and then I have like at 7:45 if I want to wake up at 8. Like I'm just like, can I get 15? Like if I just can get 15 minutes, then I can actually do the next day with clarity. Does that make sense? Yeah, right. So you guys hear how I'm putting down the use of time, right? And I'm also helping Malia as she shapes like the previous incident of why she needs this time. I'm gonna move her into the deficit more of like why this 15 minutes is so much. Right? Now, at some point in time you'll go back, right? And you'll figure out the in between for you and Harper about that. right?
Yeah.
For right now, let's just go with whatever modality one, activation we can get from. What do you have to do in the 15 minutes that you just need the peace?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because if you need the peace, right, how does that then translate when you wake up?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? Let's do it again. From the top. Malia, also honor that bed and trying to find comfort. Let it start from as soon as you try to lay down on it. Okay. You just need this extra 15 minutes. And it's not been working all night. Is that comfortable? Keep trying. Okay, maybe that side. Is there something that can make it more comfortable? Do you need to find something else in the space?
So, do you mind?
Stay right the fuck there. Who are you?
I just need a moment, a little bit to myself. You have a cushion. There, can I take it?
If you're just following you.
No. There's no nurses. You have a cushion under your feet, and this bed is made of wood, and it can't. It's not working. I need to go to sleep, and I need you to help me.
Girl, whatever. I have like some extra like Xanax if you want. I think that's gonna help a lot better than a fucking
Activity.
I don't care.
Activity.
Rosanna?
You're not in my room.
Where is that?
Jesus Christ, I thought you were here to get better. Like, I'm not gonna talk to some fucking drug right now.
Where is he? Where are you?
Where do you think you are?
My apartment, my bedroom.
God.
Where do you think you are? You're in my apartment.
I think I'm trying to get better talking to a crazy person.
You're not crazy.
You are so fucking insane.
Repeat.
You are so fucking insane!
No. I was just, I'm trying not to be.
Do not swallow that.
What have you been told that's been helping you? Because maybe that can...
Pause. Malia, did you feel yourself? Did anyone see your swallow? Yeah, Did you feel a little weird? And that was happening really important, especially when in father, we just track like words as well as actions, and when we reflect back to the person who was helping out. Does anybody remember what was being said or yes or yes? Yeah, but I guess when did the swallow happen? Before, after, yes. Anybody else? What about Paul? Yes?
I feel like it was like, I'm trying.
Okay, great. Yeah.
He started saying
Yeah, that's the second time. So it's the swallow trying, right? Because what was the ouch, friend? Yes. And even the line before that, that was a very clear pinch out moment, right? But that for me is the moment where you revert it, right? Back into something else rather than being able to respond right there to that moment. So can you think about what you want?
I think,
Because crazy lady.
yeah, I think it was instead of reattacking,
Mm-hmm.
trying to like,
Do you follow that?
yeah, trying to,
Yeah. And I go, you've been doing that whole time. And so I don't know if that was your impulse.
okay,
Right?
yeah,
Right? Again, Malia, the pleasing, unless it's attached to, like, the need and the want, does that make sense? But I want you to track why it was hard for you to shift out of that.
yeah.
Because you've been trying to do that this entire time. Make sense? Great. Got it. What's your B? Did you down to your B for what you need from Malia?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it? Great. See me, understand me. Did anybody see that in Josh's pursuit? Great. What are you reading from Josh's pursuit? Yes.
I just want to be very
Yeah. I love defensive. I would say wittily dismissive. Yes. I love it. If you think about what we just said, the imagery of all of that is get away. Right? Why is this important? Because that trap of wittiness and cleverness to keep a person distant is what is the through line and what you're playing right now. And it's amusing and a little entertaining. But is it honest? What you say you need. Does this make sense? Yeah. And I'm not to say, I don't want to say that like it's all bad, because it's not, right? But once you present yourself as a space, right? Like, we know that there's a need. And I just want to make sure that's clear for you. Right? Can we try again? Something new. Friends, what worked in this interpretation? Because there was so many freaking relevant things. Yes, bring it. So let's track Malia from earlier, from the first iteration to the second. The differences, because for me it was night and day. Yes, right. Urgent, yes. What else? Yes. And what does that do for you as a human? Great. How did she appear in sort of like after, like versus compelling, interesting, does that make sense? Yes, sir. And what did that do to you as a viewer? It made you want to lean in rather than gloss out. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. And then what happened when she did that? Yes, but what happened to her impulse with that? And what do we start to get? Yes. Okay. Okay, right. We'll hold that. What do we start to get then? How about motivated blocking? Right, that cushion. I need that cushion. Can I get that? Does that make sense? Like, that for me is like an act of being able to let their instinct, like, choose what is happening in the actual scene rather than trying to put the cookie cutter version of, I'm not a dream. Does that make sense? There was no dream-like element in Malia's voice. There was no hesitation of,
are you here?
No, because she's playing the reality, which is he is there. Does that make sense? Right? And so by literally into the impulse, and by her really clarifying her need and pursuing out of that, we lose all indicating of the grace. Right? Which every actor who comes in to audition and is set up like this is going to do. Right? Y'all have to track that. And when I'm saying the nuances, you got to stay away and see. Because for me, the differences of those things were like night and day. I was sitting over there and I was holding my breath to see what was going to happen next. Right? That's the thing that I think that the double and triple, well, no, lean into, right? Because the slight difference is the difference between cliche and compelling. Does that make sense? And I need you to be able to track it in 30 seconds of this, right? In order for us to extend it for you to feel it for yourself. Shall we try again? Something completely new. Right.
Hi. She,
Who are you?
what do you mean?
Crocheting.
Oh, sorry, I guess, I was too confused.
Yeah, that's right.
What's it gonna be?
Oh, just a fun little winter item to bundle up.
14. What do you want?
Can you make me one?
What do you need?
It's cold and I don't have anything, and it's hard. My bed is hard and my bed is getting it, and so it'd be really,
Yeah, 14 minutes. 13 minutes.
Girl, I gotta finish it, so there's another way.
when will I won't see you again, I don't think.
Pretty sure I swear I was starting the dining hall. You look really familiar. Wait, were you the girl that was like bashing her head against the wall like yesterday?
No, not there.
You were bashing your head on the other wall?
You know, that's a
What do you need? Don't think.
so,
Don't think.
where are
The word so far.
you? Okay.
What do you need? 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 Don't think.
Why are you alone?
Who are you?
And I don't know what to do.
Landon, Landon.
There's only one person I know in this world who left.
Landon, please.
And there's, and I don't know when they'll be back because they've always been gone for a very long time every night and so I'm alone. And
Landon.
part of me wants that, to be alone, to be alone, get this last piece of myself and figure myself out, but I can't do that alone. I've tried too many times because I'm always alone. So how do I figure myself out? How are you figuring yourself out?
I guess we can do without having everything. And they're like fucked up. But there's always someone.
So Yeah.
Fuck this shit. Then you would fuck this shit. I look like a corpse. A corpse that.
Oh. I was in the fuck this shit, work that, you lost me. What happened? For you? When you said the line,
I don't know, I guess I shut down.
Well, I don't think you shut down. I think you disconnected to then start remote. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because I don't want to, I really don't want, I'm reading things, but I want to make sure.
I think there was like probably an active video, like where I talked about when she
Meaning,
like I skipped a couple of those moments to like still where I thought it
with the fuck this or with the corset? Well, the first time it was not truthful, but the second time he made it true. How did he do that? Yes, Reagan. Bending the text, right? But what did he do to make that moment true? The yarn. You caught yourself in the lie, fuck this, and then created some sort of activity to then make that fuck this honest. Does that make sense? But then you disconnected from that honest way to go into I look like a corpse. Does that make sense? Right? And I want to remind you about repetition. Text is earned. So we could have stayed in that bucket until that next line was earned. Does that make sense? Because by you letting the truth of fuck this land, then Malia's got to pick that up if it's silent. Right? Does that make sense? And even if she doesn't have text, right? If you don't keep going, then she has to either sit there or repeat fuck this back to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which then would have gotten you guys right back into the truthful shit. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, does you feel it in your body?
I felt it with the corpse that.
You're right, the disconnect. Yeah. Thought friend, no. Things that you track in the third, yes.
I feel like out of the after the talk to start and then meeting people, in doing so, it's like I think they would be that would be and so that would be
Oh, wait a second.
the pursuit of very like
Like it came out of the blue.
yeah.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is our friends, like when I'm watching for physical impulses, I'm really watching for the body of taking out. And when somebody gives me an out or a hint that is disconnected from anything that's happening in the space, that's a big giveaway of like we're now creating a thing versus being in relationships or what it is. Does that make sense? Anybody else? Like, yeah, great.
I thought in
It was so honest. I was all the way up there and it felt like the loudest line in the play. Anything else? Yes.
When we get back to that, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like we were like,
Did you notice anything when I started to tell Leah to land the line? Yes.
I think it opened up a little more like more really answers. It's more like the people that she consider
I will say I would reframe that because I think what it did was give birth to the revealing of a real need. So you can track that, like as she was going on with that line of speech, I guess, right? As behind it was an active need, right? Versus trying to what I want to say, trying to ease the discomfort of the awkwardness. Does that make sense? And so by choosing it, like just the side notion of me asking her to land it, right, meant that there was a need behind saying it. Does that make sense? So when we're talking about vulnerability, how to access yours, what looks like vulnerability, Margot, it's having the need right behind that language. Does that make sense? And being clear or having some idea of what is guiding this text. Yes? Great. Yes, Simon. Yes, there was also no delay. Anything else? Great. For me, friends, this is the energy of the thing. It's going to go different places, right? The thing that we have to make sure is we are starting with knowing what we need, right? And then, no, that we're entering what we need, and then starting with the true element, the true reality of the space. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we didn't get into all of the text, right? But, like, for me, making sure that we have the bare bones about how we're going to start means that we'll always start from the beginning. And there's no confusion. Does that make sense? So your job now is to learn your lines. Everybody say it with me. Great. Now you, Josh. Say it again. Yes. Lily, I don't know how many lines you have learned, so you save yourself a public shame. But learn your lines so we can play because whatever you got working as far as like the things that the crafting elements are is showing up, yes? I hear the crochet and I think the reasoning behind it is great. What I don't feel is the urgency of somebody coming to check. So as you go back and you're crafting and you're thinking about your seed, I need it to be real time for you guys. And maybe you need to finish this more, right? Because I really think that honest way to activate yourself is if there's going to be a check. Or, you know, like before you go back to your room, there's a check at a certain time. So you literally have 15 minutes to finish this thing so that you can put it on your arm without, you know, anyone, what's the word? Without setting up any alert signs, and then I need you to think to yourself. Because when you get caught, or when someone notices, I want you to think about the most invasive thing that happens next. Does that make sense? And I wanted to be degrading. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that it's just gonna for me leave you less room for like clever wit, and so then we're gonna get the non-sticky version because you can't help that like element of yourself. You know what I mean? But I want it to come out of true impulse, right? When your back is against the wall. Does that make sense? So that means it's always gonna be connected to a need, right? Well, it's probably gonna be even further when it lands. Does that make sense? Because it's coming out of, does that make sense? Yeah, great. So, what we learn, right? What you learn is how strong your senses are and if they are useful, right? If you felt like there was any time when you were pursuing an improv and you're like, this feels ugly, that means that you need to go back to your beat and be more specific and or phrase it in a way that is living in your body without me reminding you. Does that make sense? And then to kind of tackle on the consequences of that, right? Use the insight incident and the consequences, right, to sort of sandwich you into a corner. And your essential is the only thing that can get you out. Does that make sense? Because for me, it only, the foundation of the world, of the world that you guys are playing in, it really landed for me when in the moment where there was no ambiguity about what you needed from me. You understand? Yeah. And some people don't feel a focus action, but I don't know, right? Great. That's all I have. Yes? You know you'll build out the space more, right? Okay, great. Goodbye. All right, friends, who's next? That's okay. Okay, great. Lovely. Good work, y'all. Yeah, also, it is okay to work when you don't have all the things together. I will say I love, right? But it doesn't, but when you do the work, some work is look for right? The last thing you can do for me is BS me about the work, right? And then be fumbling and trying to pretend you know a whole lot of lines and just that, right? Because we can only start from 50%. And that means that there's no time wasted. Does that make sense? Already, that we've got you clearly out of the idea of what you're about to do. Does that make sense? Okay, great. That was fun! That was fun! I'm sorry. It was just like a real, this is it. That is my first number on that thing. And that would be so fantastic. And a lot of times we're not like God and reality. And it always comes off as like a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Where people are like, oh, fantasy and of course that's it. But need each other and hope that's for them. Does that make sense? That's what the most of that. Okay, great. A little bit of, okay, great. So friends, as you're thinking about the set, tell me what is inspiring. So we got the couch, right? And that feels like living room for you, Effie. Okay, great. Keep going. You also have my lovely decor lounge if you need it.
Yeah, no, we can use that.
Oh, okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, lovely. Where's the front door and where's the bedroom? Oh, lovely. Okay, great. Where's the kitchen? Awesome. Great. We had to think about those. Okay. Okay. Abby, what are you doing with space? You start. You think on that?
Yeah.
Ariane, you're coming in and you have an activity. Okay, great. You have a timetable about that activity. Okay, great. Okay. Abby, it is not about looking at that. Ariane, are you ready? You have all your things? Ready? Wait. Yeah. Over there. Okay, have you hidden them? Have you hid them from her? Oh. So everyone has them. Okay, great. Yeah. Right. Okay, great. So, Ariane, just need to give me like a minute, okay? Oh, great talk. Friends, Abby, do me a favor. So I asked Abby why, what does she think Aria's point of view on her is? And what did you say?
That I'm a drug addict and that I don't want. Like, I think that he thinks I'm a drug addict and that I can't do myself without.
And then I asked Abby why, to connect that to why you need to hide the pills. And what did you say?
I said that I'm also the same, that he can't do that.
Right. Great. What note do I want to give Abby about her perspective on this?
So I think that he is a drug addict and that he thinks that I don't want to be present with him without the drug and I feel ashamed.
My baby! Clap it up for Jay! Friends, that was such a very important concept from last semester. Also something that you got to put in your practice because one of the things, Abby, that as we're working from ourselves in the literal, right? This perspective of the playwright and or the other character's perspective on us, and us starting to see ourselves in that way is going to end up with you cutting yourself off, swallowing your impulse because you're already starting Abby with the fact that he's wanted and you're wrong. Right? So how can we reframe this perspective for Abby? My question is, are you trying to be a drug addict?
No.
Lovely. Lovely. I've never met a crackhead who's like, I'm just working. You know what I mean? Like that was the goal of life. My mom sat me down and said, you know what? Son, I want you to be a crackhead. Just like nobody has ever had that thing. Does that make sense? So, right, how do you really set that narrative for yourself? Great. If you are worried about playing the villain or villainizing yourself, put yourself in the hero situation for your character. How can you advocate for the real honesty of your character? So, Abby, if Harper were a friend, how would you advocate? If Harper were your friend who was in a relationship with her husband, never paid her attention, where she married him and left everything she knew, right? And the only thing he did every day he came home was blame her for the situations they find themselves in. What would you tell her about herself?
I'd say, I would sympathize with her for why she would feel the need to, escape from that and want to disconnect and just.
If she called you and was like, I'm just right and I'm ashamed, and what would you say to her?
I would say no, he's abandoning you.
Keep going.
He's abandoning you. He's, blaming you. Where, you know what you want, and you know that he's not giving you the time to deserve. And, it's understandable that you would feel the need to turn to something to feel the sense of control when you don't feel that in your husband.
And if she said then, well, I'm really trying to shake it, right? What would you suggest, maybe?
You mean
If she, I don't want to be taking these drugs. What would you suggest?
I'd say.
What are ways that she can wean herself off? Look at the bottles in your hands and ask yourself that question. What are ways that she can wean herself off?
You could find actual help.
Yes.
You could turn to something else. Not for
Okay, we're turning something else. I love it. Licensed professional. What other things could she do with the medication if she's trying to stop herself from like potential overdose or as you look at those pill bottles in your hand? Get rid of them, but if she can't do that just yet, what could she do? 1, 2.
Like, start either like, get rid of like this one process down as well, like, this is my last stop, and I have to like make this last throughout the day.
That's a possibility, Bridget.
I was like, in the school where we were like, doing off then, and doing like, a computer server day, it's like 1 and a half, and we do 1, and
Like, when you do the stuff, the little bottle, like, I can only take 2 in one day, that's all.
Possibly, right. What else? I'm thinking about those doses too. The first thing is yes. Yes. I think the first thing with the pill bottle, the first step is making it harder to take them all at once, right? So that's the first thing I noticed when I see these pill bottles and how they're separated exactly. So you section them off, right? So you're only allowed 1 vial a day, right? Or a bottle of these pills a day. Then you make it difficult you make them less accessible by doing what? Exactly! Making them so they're not just sitting on the table, but you have to look, because what would looking do possibly for someone who is looking for an immediate? What would having to look at something? Make it a conscious action, it would disrupt the behavior, it would put a delay in between impulse and action. And we know that happens between 1 and 5 seconds. You start 2 seconds, yes. Does that make sense? I need everybody to know what happens between 1 and 5 seconds, friends, in relationships and impulse. Not quite, but no, actually, no, you're right, they do die. The real impulse can die, but at minimum, it gets weaker. Does that make sense? And so now, good for you, we can use that freaking horrible default to our advantage, right? So, by hiding them, by putting them all over, by not having them in close proximity, you are actually trying to do what?
I'm trying to remember all of them and stop.
In your mind, do crazy drug addicts use this amount of work to not be druggy? No. Do you hear what I'm saying? Right? So I just given you, and I'm also using the prop to help you, and I'm marrying that into a point of view that you can platform. Does that make sense? Yeah. Or are you a crazy dressed up? What are you?
I'm a genuine person who's working to not do that.
Say what do you mean?
I'm a who deserves love.
Yes.
And deserves to stand up.
Yes. You give love?
Yes.
Unconditionally? You haven't been giving love.
Yes. Or I haven't given love.
Yes, you haven't been giving. Does that make sense? Yes. You are worthy, right, of receiving what you signed up for via contract. So I'm not talking about a real fluffy relationship of like, I deserve to love. No, damn it, it's a contract. I signed up to be your wife and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. This contract is binding for you as a husband are not holding up your end of the part. So, who's right or wrong with you? Exactly. Yes? Why are you the person that
I need to do this. I need to stand up for myself.
Do what you need to do to hide. You know what? Let's do this. Abby, let's make sure we hide some, like, in a place that doesn't cross this line. Yeah, just because I don't want Ariane to, like, get into, who feels on it anyway, and, like, just all in the audience and, that would be great. So that's okay. We can get paid for next time. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, yes. True stage. Did you need any, where's my little black, yeah, do we want to put this like on a bench or something back there?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe we'll put it on a big block. This is also for if you want to make the house black again. Actually, start out really quickly. Helene, you can, tell our information. Hello, my love. Tell me about these skills and what's your time, what's your, seat?
Okay, my team is,
Sure.
I need my Brooklyn music class to direct her from the team. Otherwise, I have to go live.
Okay. Love it. It is very, I see the imagery. I want to know now, if this activity doesn't get done, what are the real world circumstances of right now?
Yeah. So I was just with the other person I was with.
Okay.
And they ended up in the hospital because in my state of like panic, I don't know the topic of my life is rough. And so now I'm running over the life. I need to get rid of these bills because if they find the bills, then they'll also find out about my update.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all that. I don't know. All right. Shall we? Yes, we shall. This is the first time. This is the extraordinary day, right? It's the one day that you're not just going to go and cry and take pills. You actually didn't take pills. Right. What's the consequence if you don't get him to confront this right now? A complaint. Can you connect back to a real world situation? And whatever the physical action that losing your sense of self means for you.
Where are you coming from?
Where are the bills?
Why does that matter? Why does that matter? What are you doing?
Landon.
What are you doing?
How many times have I told you?
Wait, where are you coming from? I haven't seen you all day. Where are you coming from? Aryan! Aryan!
Activity!
You're acting crazy. Stop. Can you stop?
Stop.
This is hurting me.
I'm
Why
sorry.
are you, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can you stop, please? Please.
Yes.
Activity!
What are you talking about? I haven't even had anything.
Pause. Ariane, why are you doing a thing about her not doing this? Because that has nothing to do with your number.
Oh, that is how Aryan accidentally
him acting Joe for us. Giving us the given circumstances, so we had the backstory. Thank you, Arian. Yeah. And now that we know what Joe is doing, now let's do what Arian's doing. Yes? Okay, great. Everybody take a deep breath. Shake it out. Completely shake it out of your whole body. Great. Great. And what are you doing, Arian? You got 13 minutes to do it. Let's go. Because they're coming.
You're making a mess.
I need to calm down.
What the fuck?
Activity.
What the fuck? Marty! Where have you been? What have you been doing all day? Where? Why haven't you been here for me? Where have you been? Where have you been? Are you to look at me? Do you love me?
I love you.
Activity! Arian! Arian! Why is this mattering more than what I'm talking about? Why is this mattering more?
It's not landing.
Arian! Can you please?
No, not working.
Stop?
Nope, not working.
Arian? You
Landing.
said you love me.
Abby, you can land
You
it.
said you love me.
Not
Why haven't you been?
Not landing.
Arian,
Not landing.
look. Can you hold my hand? Look at what you're fucking doing. The couch is knocked over. What do you mean there's not? Can you explain that? Can you explain that? Where have you been? Where?
Just out thinking.
It's late.
I had a lot to think about.
I burned dinner.
Alright.
Pause. Pause. Abby, why are you giving sex? Because you. What's the last time something landed one eye? There were a few things. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. You stop getting stressed. Honestly. Took my heart out of my body. Whatever. Anything else? Friends, if y'all not saying anything else landing, then I'm wondering what you're watching, and I'm watching the same exercise. Definitely, there's something. What happened to Abby in that moment? Yes.
Fall apart.
What happened to her voice and what happened to her face? Yes. Yes, correct. That's the psychoanalysis. How does it then manifest in physicality? Different.
I want to be that
Carriage to herself? Yes, what else? What happened to Abby's voice? Y'all got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up because there's some really good work here going on.
It was very direct, and it was like, you better listen to me and you don't.
It cut through like a knife. The timber of it rang through. It was connected all the way down to your root chakra. Yes? There was not the pretend of, listen to me. Like, it said, what are you doing? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's when Abby showed up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So, alright, take a deep breath. Okay, great. Where am I on time? Okay, great. I'm gonna pick back up with this. Okay, I want you to find all your skills or whatever. Maybe you take tax or something. Instead, I actually think this is a great joint activity. First time I'm ever using a joint activity. Does that make sense? Where an activity starts with someone, right, at someone else's, and then it will turn into our activity because of practice. Okay? So, Abby, now I want you to take ownership of what this process looks like. Does that make sense? Right? Because your moment before is actually all the work that you did to do this, and we will start this thing with you hiding the last of the back. Does that make sense? Okay, great. Note for character shoes. Walk towards me, using the heel first, like, right? You feel that? That is a lot different than roll of the toes. Yeah. Right? A little shuffling even, but if you walk with purpose, you will actually, right? Because when you were able to, when Abby showed up, you hunched over as Reagan was saying, but I think Abby has a much better chance to be the entire time. If when you're crossing, does that make sense? Yeah. And that's just something in the elevation range, why the hard bottom shoes really help us just to do some work for ourselves. Audience, if anybody needs some hard bottom shoes, my love, it's you. Okay? Also, I think I need this to be as constricted as possible. Right? So I'm thinking the button up high, like I need it to be and it can be like I'm from your before, hurry, right? Or putting yourself back together. All of that stuff is going to be a great thing to like set the world of the play that you're creating. Does that make sense? The last thing for me, audience note, is to trust the play that he's acting and not the play of whoever random Joe is playing Joe. Does that make sense? Right? And what I love about the crafting of this consequence is he found a way to rope in the well-being of both of them. Right? So for you, if you think about this consequence, you're actually doing this for both of you. And that is, I think, already going to give you, right now you're in conflict. It's like, do I deal or do I deal? If you both in, if this is for both of you, that somehow this is the saving of both of you, then I think you will need to take care of everything with one drop. Does that make sense? Because I think in the crafting, while good, it was keeping Harvey in pursuit in different directions, and that's what was causing the emotional consternation because he had to go to, when I'm cycling him, he's going back to like, oh yeah, I gotta do this. Now all of it was contained in his relationship with that. Does that make sense? Okay, friends. Oh no, we got time. So this was a great class, y'all. I am so proud of you guys for being prepared, for not receiving my email and still being prepared. That for me is like huge when it comes to the initiative that I've been talking about. And because you did that, we didn't have to lose a class today because you just didn't receive my email. Does that make sense? I personally will work harder at figuring out emails out, thinking I'm going to ask you to have a relationship with Rachel too, just in case to help me stay committed to making sure I'm not sending information to one person because I'm complicated. Yes, right. We will continue on Wednesday. The expectation is that I think I want to start back with you guys. The expectation is we're going to, like, I expect them to go further to the next, and does that make sense? What I'm doing is starting with the preliminary phase. And also, if you can't tell, setting you up in the top for the best foundation for you to then play attention out with that. Does that make sense? So next time I work with you, it's going to feel very accelerated because my job right now is just to get you started with truth. My goal is then when I teach you in the text, that truth is just you're living because you start to living. Your job in this moment is to figure out what is not